So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this ONUG Fall 2020 Broadcom Academy session on how to gain single-click access to multi-vendor SD-WAN health and performance. My name is Jeremy Rossback. I am the Director of Product Marketing for our DX NetOps network monitoring solution. And again, glad you could be with us. So real quick, if you missed day one, you missed a couple of great sessions that Broadcom did. First one was at 10:45 a.m. Eastern, and it was our open session on our next generation network telemetry, powered by Broadcom Silicon for automated triage and reliable application delivery. So please check that out on demand. And then yesterday afternoon at 1 p.m., we had our proof of concept session on AI-driven real-time identification and remediation of network congestion and packet loss. So again, if you missed those sessions, please check them out. Okay, let's get into it. I think we all know SD-WAN is hot. It's one of the hottest SDN or software-defined technologies out there today. I don't need to read these numbers to you, but you can see that industry analysts forecasts and have forecasted huge growth, huge deployment numbers. There on the right, Gartner predicts and a still big increase in the SD-WAN service market. It's expected to grow well through 2023. And there's some deployment examples in certain verticals. So retail, it's cheaper for retail to go over the internet securely to all of their retail sites for transactions, as well as the financial services. When they move a lot of their applications out to the cloud, they want to secure access to their customers, especially for that personal financial information. And even in our new 2020 global crisis, real world scenarios that we're dealing with now, education is moving to SD-WAN deployments to be able to prioritize remote learning over other types of traffic while lowering costs of dedicated circuits while trying to get the best bandwidth numbers that they can. So just some examples there of how hot SD-WAN is today. And but with any new technology, there's challenges, and some of the challenges that comes to monitoring SD-WAN can be seen here. So when you move applications out to the cloud, of course that decreases network operations visibility to be able to assure network delivery, network connectivity for these user experiences. Network operations can see everything inside of their data centers, but when things are moved out to the cloud, that visibility decreases exponentially. Software-defined overlays adds complexity. Of course it does. Nothing is static anymore in the software-defined world. Things grow and shrink. They move around. That creates headaches for network operations staff. SD-WAN comes with automation. This automation needs to be validated, right? If it does an automated move, if it adds more resources, removes resources, etc., this automation needs to be validated that it was the right answer, the right triage process to improve something. And then finally, with any type of bandwidth rollout, capacity planning is always a requirement. So modeling capacity across different vendor technologies and providers is a challenge. So while SDN technology promises more streamlined application experiences, it creates a lot of complexity in the day-to-day management for network operations. So introducing, if you haven't seen this already in some of the other sessions, Broadcom's network monitoring solution, DX NetOps, is a part of a family of monitoring and AI ops solutions at Broadcom. So we do send normalized, correlated, clean data into our AI ops engine, along with infrastructure monitoring data, application performance monitoring data, digital experience, user experience monitoring data, all into our open AIOps data lake to be able to provide advanced analysis, analytics, and machine learning to produce these types of business outcome dashboards, whether they're customer experience, service analytics, alarm analytics, root cause analytics, log analytics, et cetera, to be able to process data that today we're just not humanly able to do. There's just too much data inside of our infrastructures today to process and then apply advanced analytics and to enable intelligent insights and proactive predictions of where and how our customer experiences are going to behave. And we also provide automation on top of that to be able to automate those easy triage tasks. Higher level engineering and architects' time isn't wasted on that type of triage scenario, but they can focus more of their attention on business operations and biz ops types of initiatives. So if we look into our DX NetOps network monitoring platform that is feeding this AOps engine, a unified portal and industry-leading, composed of industry-leading fault management, performance management, flow analysis for traditional and software-defined networking. So whether it's fault management and that comes with alarm suppression, automated inventory, automated topology building, root cause analysis, whether it's network performance monitoring and management across SNMP, across new next-gen telemetry, non-SNMP devices as well, whether it's new REST protocols or IFA, in-band flow analyzer protocols, whether it's across network flows, NetFlow and SFlow, and as you see, additional protocols there. And we're doing this all in the new software-defined space or the intent-based networking areas, whether it's SD-WAN, NFV, and all the way out to the cloud. So a unified, full-stack network monitoring solution that is feeding clean data into our AIOps engine for full-stack assurance of the customer experience. And then I promised the last slide here. Again, this is our SD-WAN monitoring session. So with our DX NetOps solution, the more functionality you add, the better your visibility. Whether it's visibility into application policies, alarms, faults, performance, flows, across many inventory types, like we see there, overlay classes, underlay interfaces, everywhere in between. SD-WAN monitoring with DX NetOps provides a unified set of data, which provides visibility of the control plane, the data plane, across many different protocols to ensure you have that complete picture into your SD-WAN and how it's supporting the delivery of a reliable application experience. So why don't we get into the demo? So we're going to look at the DX NetOps network monitoring solution from Broadcom and how it provides advanced visibility in your SD-WAN and WAN health and performance, and not just at the tunnel level or the edge level, but how your policies are performing in relation to the performance of your WAN providers. So Broadcom has customers with thousands of sites, hundreds of thousands of tunnels, so we can definitely scale. In this demo, though, we're going to look at a very small deployment, and the first thing you need to understand is that we make things very easy and friendly for operations. So we surface the right information, get rid of the noise, so operations can easily understand what to focus on and where to triage quickly and easy with the focused information that we provide them. So I'm looking at my WAN here. I'm trying to understand performance issues from this site here in the US out to our site in London. And I can easily see that there is performance going on within these tunnels between these two sites. And this information is automatically discovered, and even the geographic information is automatically pulled from the SD-WAN controllers. And we're going to line up with your policy thresholds. We can see that we have latency issues going on between our Portsmouth and London office across the 3 total metrics that we think are always important to be monitoring in any performance-based routing environment such as SD-WAN, and that's latency, packet loss, and jitter. So obviously we have issues going on between our 2 gold endpoints. These could be MPLS, could be broadband, whatever you want to name them, but we are experiencing high latency within this SD-WAN environment. And if I scroll down to our time bars, what this does is it provides information over time. So each of these little squares are plotted for a roll-up of performance over that period. And it gives you a great idea of how performance is changing over time. So when troubleshooting a performance issue in your WAN, you're going to be able to very quickly look at an endpoint, figure out the performance of all those tunnels to and from that endpoint, then isolate the individual performance metric or multiple performance metrics that are experiencing problems in this environment. So as we expand the others, we see we have latency issues going on throughout this environment. We can look at the site, we can look at the source device. I can go to my source interface, do the same on the destination side, or just jump right into the tunnel. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to look at the 1116 gold, the 1117 gold tunnel that represents our connectivity between US and London. That's where we're going to focus our efforts on, try to figure out where this latency is coming from. And because we want to maximize and optimize the usage of this tunnel for application delivery. So within one click, we quickly understand all the events that have occurred over time within this WAN, and then we can drill into very specific information about this tunnel. So this is new information that we added in our latest release this year. We used to provide trend information on latency, loss, and jitter, but what we've done is we've added a handful of new enhancements that are really, really interesting. The first thing we've added is baselining. Now you're going to be able to look at these performance characteristics compared to your normal performance for that same hour of day, same day, or same week. And so you're not comparing like Sunday at 2 a.m. with Monday at 11 a.m., for example. Obviously, there are very different characteristics of traffic during those times. So they're going to be obviously very different baseline information. And again, we're doing this across packet loss, latency, and jitter, those 3 important metrics that we always want to be monitoring in this type of environment. And our next chart here on the right is where we bring you policy information. So you can see here we have listed an SLA class of best effort. So on my controller, I have a policy for my best effort traffic, and that policy is going to contain all of my performance thresholds for latency, packet loss, and jitter to ensure that this best effort traffic is being sent over a WAN transport that meets our requirements. And so what we do in this view is we're going to provide you with information on each of those metrics. So here we're looking at latency. We can see we have an SLA set, best effort SLA at 250 milliseconds. We're going to be able to provide you visibility of the actual tunnel latency, which we see we have breached our SLA, as is obvious here. And then we can give you visibility in the percentage of that latency threshold. And we can focus your attention on that. So why don't we do that? And what we can do is you very easily look at this from a normalized perspective. So, okay, if latency is close to, 400 milliseconds here, what's the percentage of my average latency threshold? Close to 89% here. So I'm able to understand, compared to that threshold, where does that latency value fall? Instead of trying to understand if latency of 400 milliseconds is good or bad for this class of traffic, we remove that onus from the operator, and we bring that directly into their visibility with a valuable percentage. And, we can do this for other classes of traffic. So I can change this class of traffic and maybe look at video. And we can easily bring to light this type of SLA traffic, video traffic, or overlay, as some vendors call it. It gives you great information into this baselining and trending statistics. We see we have an SLA of 200 milliseconds for video here. And what we give you is a forecast as well as the actual value. We're going to be able to actually forecast the baseline as well. All this helps you answer questions like, is this behaving normally compared to what it has been before? How's it performing related to my performance-based routing thresholds? How's it forecasted to perform based off of trend information that I have? All this is very handy for an operator to be able to quickly understand this, assess how application traffic may be impacted by these WAN characteristics. And again, across packet loss, latency, and jitter. So as we move down to tunnel throughput, we've expanded on the metrics that are available for our tunnels. We've added throughput information at the tunnel level now. So we're going to be able to go in and look at total bytes, average bytes, look at throughput over time for packets, just to give you an idea of how much traffic is actually going across any specific tunnel. As we move down to policy performance health, expand this out here. We're going to show you specific information related to the policy performance itself and what we call our SLA paths associated with a tunnel. And an SLA path just represents the tunnel performance as compared to the policy threshold. So you can see here we have the tunnel of 1116 gold to 1117 gold best effort. We have it for video. And we have it for business critical. And we're going to give you visibility into performance for all those individual classes compared to that tunnel. I can see where I'm green. I can see where I'm red. I can quickly understand what those thresholds are. I don't need to go and log into the SD-WAN orchestrator or controller to get that information. It's presented to me directly here. And then we can provide visibility into how that's performing compared to baselines. Am I normally meeting my performance characteristics for that particular application class? As you can see here, we're doing much better for packet loss than latency and jitter. And then, we just provide easy understanding of normal performance versus current performance and how that's impacted by your policies. And policies are very important in SD-WAN because they control where the traffic is going to go, which transport it's going to use. If you're trying to move from an MPLS-based WAN to a hybrid or a broadband-based WAN, and you're trying to optimize how you're leveraging that, then all this information is going to be very beneficial. Not only to understand, but to inform your policies as well. So from here, with policy performance trends, we give network operations the ability to look at performance from a trend perspective as it's compared to a policy. It's very quick. It's very easy for the eye for me to go and quickly understand here are my thresholds, then here are my performance characteristics. And against those thresholds, we can see that packet loss average and the packet loss threshold percent easily. So we can compare the brown to the blue line, and it gives us that particular association. Very simple, very easy to drill in and understand exactly what's going on in this environment. And all these are new enhancements in the latest release of DX NetOps 20.2 that came out at the beginning of summer. So you can also do additional threshold administration, especially when it comes to SD-WAN tunnel performance thresholds. So I can use standards such as packet loss against a fixed value, or I can look at deviation from baseline compared to my baseline. So for example, here I'm looking at packet loss. And if I want to create an alert of whether it exceeds 5, I can do that. If I want to clear it, I can when it reaches a certain value. Then I can also say, well, I want to look at my packet loss percentage. If it's greater than 20%, alert me. And again, if it drops below a certain percent, you can clear that alarm. This is all great information for our network operations teams to be able to customize their network operations experience for monitoring SD-WAN and health to quickly and easily gain visibility and triage performance degradation for application delivery. So, I think we've illustrated today the power of Broadcom's SD-WAN monitoring, the power of reducing noise, reducing churn from operations staff, letting SD-WAN do what it's supposed to, but providing a higher level of visibility so network operations can deliver applications over the WAN the way it's intended, that your policies are being met by your preferred transports, that your sites are able to connect, you're meeting performance thresholds and service level objectives, and finally, network operations continually ensures a reliable customer experience. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you had a great couple days at ONUG. Join me in our Broadcom virtual booth if you want for additional questions around this technology or anything else we're doing in the network monitoring space. So have a great rest of your day.